we might as well get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. We are joined with Socks again. If you didn't hear her meow before, she was wanting to voice her own opinions. Isn't that right? She's like, I just did. Yes. Okay. All right. You can go over there. There we go. Don't sit on the keyboard. I should order a new webcam soon. Anyway, let's jump into it. So we're continuing what we were doing last time. Don't sit on the keyboard. In which case, we're sending the data up into there and everything's happy, hunky-dory. That's with the general detail component. What is this for? Unmounted, yada yada. Oh yeah, yep, alright, cool. We're seeing where the groups and all that kind of stuff was actually happening and how it was getting up there, and I believe that's working how we want it to. Now, with the delete, nothing's working with the delete at the moment, just because I haven't done anything around it. I do know that we've got to do some state about the assigned users, and I was thinking, where do I want to put that data? And hi, Madish. I'm building an open source project management system called NearBeach. We are currently going through a massive refactor. Currently, NearBeach doesn't look like this. So we're trying to get it looking a lot nicer, removing all the technical debt of it, and yeah, trying to improve it all around. I just dropped the pen. Yeah. I'll try and remember what we were doing last time. I might implement the drop and the delete functionality for this. That shouldn't be too hard to actually implement, because we'll be hitting a particular spot. I just dropped the pen again. The clumsy fingers. This is why you never get me to hold precious items. Yes, with the assigned users, what I'll end up doing is we'll have technically 2 endpoints. The idea being is, let's go to localhost. Let's go to the API. Let's go to project. Oops. Go project 1. Hang on. Sorry, I forgot the version 1. API version 1, project 1. Alright. So we'll still have the user list in there, but I'll also have another endpoint where we can fetch the initial assigned essentially the users. We'll get a list of potential users and so forth like that from a different area. We don't need that data in that particular API node point because it doesn't really make sense. If someone's actually using the API, they can see this, they should be happy. If they need to know what users they can actually assign to this, then they'll query it. If they add in a group or something like that, then we can handle it and so forth like that. So that's where that's coming from, and the assigned users will pop into here easily. So if I actually go to number 1 at the moment, I don't think, oh yeah, there we go. We've got one of the assigned users coming through. I'll need to implement the delete functionality for both the groups and the assigned users. I will just do it for the front end for the moment. I will need to handle it for the back end. Shouldn't be, famous last word, shouldn't be too hard to implement, because it's the same sort of pattern that we're using everywhere else, where we check to make sure that that particular assignment object exists, and then we delete it. If it doesn't, we then go with 400 error. So it's as simple as that. And then we've got to start doing this with the stakeholders. So with the stakeholders, we do get that information. We don't get the customer list in case we need to actually get the customer list from somewhere else. So yeah, now My video is still going. Yep, my video is still going. Yep, Socks is just decided to stand in front of the camera and block my face. She does it to save you guys from looking at my face. All right. And then hopefully it's just the crud, the rest of the crud for both the stakeholders and the customers, which should be pretty easy to do. This should be a lot faster than the documentation. The documentation, it just takes forever. It's a complicated beast. Let's just say that. And then from here on in, it should be fairly easy to do. So I'm having a good think. Yeah, I think that should work. All right. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with the cube. Let me just finish it very, very quickly. All right, I'm gonna have to put this somewhere where I can't see it. Done. All right, Socks, your tail's in the way. Thank you. Also, people want to see you, Socks. Get back your camera. I need like a little bit of blue tack on the bottom of it. It'll do. Yeah, look at those camera angles. Silly as hell. I need to clean the lens and pretty much buy a new webcam. Alright, so I'm going to start with the group access first. Let's get the delete done and sorted. I'm just going to close everything. I need to start from the very, very start. So we've got the NearBeach. We've got the... So that's for the backend. We've got the source. Actually, yeah, deleting the component, deleting the groups actually does something. Same with adding new groups. We'll get the front end working, and then I'll handle the back end. So I need to go components. Object components. Access. This is the access sort of thing. So we're going to go group access. Here we are with group access. So the trash icon, remove group. So we're removing it optimistically, meaning we just tell our store, hey, we're deleting this item. And then we contact the back end. Now, in the case that something fails, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do in those particular cases. It might be that we retrieve the item itself and put it back into the slot. I'm not 100% sure how we can do that. But yeah, we'll have to figure something out. But at the moment, we're keeping this very, very simple because we want to ship this out and get people's feedback on it first. And then we can, if it's in a simple state, then we can sort of modify it a lot easily. So in this sort of case, this is with the object store. So I'm just going to go straight up into the object store. We do have an action in here, which we can utilize. Like so. Then this will be this dot Oh, group list. Equals this dot group list dot filter. This is where we'll go with the row. I think we have to define. Oh no, the row should pick up the stuff, and then we return where the ID does not equal the group ID, and that's it. That's all we're doing. Whoops. Now this is meant to be that. All right, cool. And that's it. Very simple sort of function. I want to keep that business logic up in the store. I believe this would be the good sort of place to use it. We can at the same time also do the remove user, where we go user ID. I'm assuming it's an ID. We'll figure that out. If it's not, we'll fix it up. That's fine. Oh, I haven't defined the user list. And that's something I gotta do. Remember, I have to do that now. All right, so serializers. I've just got this. I'm just gonna paste this over here. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. We're gonna go to utilities. We're gonna go interfaces. This is technically part of the store. Do we have the user interface in there? No, we don't. We just create that very, very quickly. Tell you an easy way to do it. Just, you know, just do the copy paste here. All right, and then we're just going to paste this over here. We don't need the parent group stuff. We can remove that. We can just go user interface into here like this. We've got the ID. We'll have the username. That's just going to be a string. We'll have the first name. That's also going to be a string. We'll have email. That's going to be a string. We'll have the profile picture. That would be a string. And then profile picture path. That's also going to be a string. And then that's it. That's all we need to do. Means I can close this now, and I can now tell the system that, hey, this user list, it's going to be as user interface, and then we just do that. Easy. The IDE will now know the fields, and yeah, we'll come down here. We can go user list dot equals this dot user list dot filter. We just go through with the row knows what to do. Return where the row dot ID does not equal the user ID. Done. Very simple, quick and easy. That's going to help us in a bit. Now with the group access, we've just hit something to delete, and we're going to go, cool, let's delete it. It will be, and this is why we do it in the store. It's just easier to do it in the store. We'll do object store dot remove group. We just pass through the group ID. It handles it. We can move on to other things. Now, I know this is going to be an async function. You'll see in a second. Tell backend to remove data. All right, cool. And this is where I'm just going to find the fetch for a specific deleted, because I want to double check everything. So we're going to do a try with a catch. But once again, we're going to go console log error. So I'm trying to see past Socks's fluffy head. If you're wondering what I'm doing. To do handle error. Now, we're not worried too much about handling the errors at the moment. We are going to come back and actually create a method to do this, whether or not it will be something which is reusable everywhere and I just call it in and I just plug it in and Bob's your uncle, or if we do something specifically. So if in this sort of particular case, we might discuss stuff and actually go, all right, cool. If the user tries to delete something and it doesn't work, should we bring that data back and notify the user? In which case, what I would do is up here before I remove the group, I would actually collect that group's information, put it into a temp variable, and then when it comes down to here inside the catch statement, actually put that temp data back into the system. I could potentially not optimistically remove the group. I could have it so that when the user clicks it, it has a little spinny circle being like, oh, I'm trying to delete it, and then delete it after the fact. However, I don't like those sometimes. Because a lot of the times you're like trying to delete a bunch of stuff and nothing happens, and then you're like, ugh. Now, in the original NearBeach, so 0.31, you would click on remove group, a motor will pop up, and then it'll ask you if you want to remove it. In this sort of case, that's done for like Tourette's clicks where you accidentally click on something random. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to get some feedback first. So yeah, bunch of stuff that I got to do. All right, so now we're going to wait the fetch. Now in this sort of case, we're actually just sending data. So there's not much. I don't even think we're sending a body. We're not even sending a body. It's object store, object. It's that. It's going to be that. That's it. Essentially, it'll hit the group ID and yeah, everything's fine here. Now, this won't work at the moment. So if I add in, let's say, a couple of groups into here, like even adding in the groups doesn't work at the moment because I haven't got the backend filled out for it. Oh, that's what I'm going to do here. So there is a reason why what I wanted to do is to handle the response. So we need const response equals. We'll wait for that. Handle the response and update the potential users. So, potential users and user list. What actually happens is two things actually happen. Let's say you add in a group. You need to tell the front end, hey, here's a list of all new potential users that you can use to add into the system. The other thing is, if you remove a group, you want to remove both the potential users, so you just wipe that out completely, but also if there's any users that should no longer have access to it. So for example, let's say Bob only has one group and you remove that group from a project. Bob should not have access to that project anymore, so you should remove them from the user list in the front end. So yeah, that's what we've got to do here with this. So yeah, there's still work to do with this, but at the moment we're only going to do this because we're fine with it. All right, so if we add in a bunch and then it just disappears and we're happy with that. And then once those disappear, the potential users down here also disappear. So I'm happy with that. That's not working at the moment, but we'll get that fixed. Same with the name. The name's not working, but we'll get that fixed in a second. And then hopefully... So I'll go back to the old code. I'll be copying a lot of the old code, and then hopefully I can create a service in the new code and just call that. I don't foresee many big changes. It's just database field name changes and stuff like that. So yeah. Famous last words. Hopefully I get this section somewhat running by the end of tonight, because it'll be good. And then I can try and get the stakeholders running it also, because that's also similar sort of logic. Yeah, and then that just means I've got notes and comments and misc to finish. And that's all unit testing from there on in. And then also manually testing too, and fixing every single bug that I find, and getting feedback, and then implementing feedback and so forth like that. So yeah, but it means that we can wrap up the projects hopefully soon. And then comes the fun task of getting what we've done here, implementing it for tasks, which should be pretty easy. Requirements should be easy. Requirement items should be easy. What else? Kanban board will be different. But yeah, once I get those done, and then I can focus on the other sections very quick. Yeah, all right, cool. So I'm just thinking out aloud, because yeah, I wanted to have all this done a long time ago. It took a lot longer than I thought it would. Anyway, give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to get myself some water because I'm actually rather thirsty and I didn't realize. Hopefully socks will keep you guys entertained for a little bit. I will be right back. All right, let's get back into it. I couldn't find the lid. Won't be a problem. Oh, I'll finish drinking that very quickly. If I don't knock it over, or if Socks doesn't knock it over. All right, so assigned users. I think front end set up for this. I'm happy with it. Let's see what happens with the users. It should bring in that user. All right, cool. Let's get that user fixed up. Let's get the adding and removing done. And we need to do the potential users. So I might put that as a service. Yeah, all right. Let's get this. So straight off the bat, first name, last name should be in there with a bunch of small little details and stuff like that. So let's just do that. I am going to close this because we don't need it. I'm happy with the group access. We're just going to close it. I don't need it. I'm happy with that at the moment. We're just going to close it. I don't need it. Assigned users. Straight off the bat, we know this is now going to be first name. No, that's going to be the ID. We're all fine with that. We've just put first name. Yeah, I just need to clean up a few things. Should put last name in here. Alright, that's my bad. I think that's all we really need in there. I don't like the fact that the profile picture is a little translated down. Yeah, all right. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm making a change to that. Let's put it down to, I think I had it as 2 pixels over here. Yeah, I'm also going to do a margin to the right of rem 0.025 rem. Something tiny. Just so that the user isn't crammed up against there. Am I not building? No, I am building. I'm just going to turn that down just a little bit. Ah. Oh, it's ignoring the margin. Alright. No, that's not going to work. Alright, I've done something weird here. Profile. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, so I can get rid of this. That's perfectly fine. Up here. So, online 64. We've got, I'm gonna put that as 25. And if we refresh, just to make sure everything, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Everything's lining up there. I'm very happy with that. So, with the users, I need to, on mount, I need to get that data. I'm sure I'm doing that right. I need to import it. All right. Yep. And then, yep. All right, cool. Or this could be, so I'm actually having a think at the moment. So if I have it as an async thing and this holds up rendering of this, we don't need to hold up any rendering whatsoever. We don't care if there's no data just yet. It could take 5 seconds for all we care. The vast majority of users won't notice that there's no data in there. You have to be really quick to sort of get there. In which case, I'm going to turn off async for this. I'm going to implement on next tick. Sorry, on tick. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a function called Fetch. Fetch user list. Fetch potential users. This one will be async. This will go next tick. Cool. This will just go. We don't need to be like, oh yeah, we just need this async and we need it to wait up. We don't care. There's no other instructions for this. This is the next tick. I mean, we should be. I say all this. And then, you know, it bites me in the ass later. Alright. Yeah, we'll pass through async. As far as I know, the next tick will happen. It'll already have rendered everything and so forth like that. So, I'm not too worried. We don't need this data on mounted. That's it. So, with the fetch users, we'll have a try. We'll also have a catch, where we'll do to-do handle errors, console log. Oh, the good thing with the remove user and stuff like that, we can actually do it very, very quickly. And with the add user too. Give me a second. I'm gonna also fill out these other functions at the same time. Because a lot of this will be a bit boilerplatey. Ignore all the red. Keep grabbing Socks's tail. It's a very fluffy tail. It's black. And out of the corner of my face, the corner of my eye, looks like a mouth. Silly. I know. Object metadata store, available group. All right, cool. We just need to fix up all of that. So we'll need to go cons object meta store equals use object meta store. Like so, and we'll just do this and this and this. And then we're happy with that. Yeah, we've got to copy the proper name. Available groups to add dot filter. Oh, all right. Oh, this will need to... All right, so in this sort of case, this is not needed, but we need to go const new user equals... This will be the objects... Oh, where am I storing this information now? Sorry, So we've got the user list. We're adding something in. Potential user list. That does belong. All right, cool. Fine. That's where it is. So it'll be object store dot potential user list dot filter, and we essentially filtering for the return row dot ID equals, and it'll be the user ID. I don't know why I've got the user ID with the add user. I should be using this. So dot value. Now the problem is the potential user list is not set up correctly. So this will be as user interface in that. There we go. We just need to tell it, and then the ID will be like, oh, okay. Now that's put it as a string. So this will be a number. Like that. And then what we need to do, make, this is just, oh, let me double click that, yep, twat. That's just to check that, hey, we've got data and that matches up. We just push that through. We just need to import that into the user list, like so. Oh yeah, and then we wipe stuff. So that will be the new object assignment user model. All right, cool. Now this will throw up an issue because we should also put in null in here. We're passing in the default being null. All right, cool. So we wait for all of this. Now this is going to throw up an issue because we're not stating that this is actually an async function, guys. We should also get rid of this. And then we go const body, that'll be user list. Same pattern, as you can see, same patterns, different naming convention and stuff like that. Easy done. This is, we send that off to users. And then I'm pretty sure we don't want to do anything afterwards and stuff like that, because we're doing it optimistically. And that's it. As with fetch potential users, we'll come back to that one because we'll also handle the remove users. That way we've got two of those functions sorted. This one's going to be a smaller one. There you go, pass through that, and then once again, this has to be async because we're actually using fetch. We don't need the response for with this particular one, so I'm getting rid of it. We need to hit the endpoint users, and we pass through the user ID. Easy done. That's not going to be a problem. We do all of that. And do all of that. All right, cool. Now, for the fetch potential users. So what we want to do here, and sorry, I'm just giving this a mighty think at the moment. So I need to actually have an endpoint which I can hit for that. Now, I think the best sort of solution in itself is to just hit the user's endpoint. Because we're doing that anyway, and when we delete something, no, that will be with the groups. Sorry, I'm just having a good deep think how I want to actually tackle this problem. All right, so I've got a couple of solutions. The idea is whenever we hit the groups endpoint, like let's say we're adding in a group or removing a group, it's going to send back both the groups, the users, and the potential users back. So we might as well hit that. It's same sort of function. Let's say we're expecting stuff to come back from there. So we want to do a fetch, and essentially it's going to be a get. All right, we're just going to get stuff from here. This is just all the information that we just need. Albeit we will have most of the information already sent to us in the initial query. That's just because if someone were to hit just the API, that's useful information to have in the API. This potential users would not be useful information in when you hit that. So we've got const response fetch data from the group. So we're going to do it as a get. We're going to, all right, cool. And then down here, we're const data equals, we'll add a type to this. Oh wait, start. This is, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, it is the wait.json. Yeah, all right, I thought it was that. Come off it. Oh, it's because I spelled response wrong up here. All right, so we just need to get this in a particular format now. So this is where we're going to create a specific interface for this. In this sort of case, I'm going to create a new file called group and users interface. All right. I'm just going to put that one over there. Sorry, just give me a couple of seconds. This will be group list. It's going to be user interface and array. This is going to be potential user list. Sorry, that's not going to be user list. That's going to be a, give me 2 seconds. Group and user interface. It's going to be a group interface. This is where I don't know what my alt key is. Aha, I did it. This will be a user interface. And then we'll have a user list, and that's going to be a user interface too. Like so. And that's it. We're just building that up. And then we just go group and user interface. We've got to import it. Like so. There it goes. So we get the data, we know what it's going to be shaped like. We're happy with that. We then need to just update the potentials. So that will be update the object store dot potential user list equals data dot potential user list. And that's it. All right, let's clean up some of this stuff. There we go. Back end is not connected up whatsoever, but the front end looks relatively nice and easy. There we go. Everything loads in. It is getting a 404 for that groups thing at the moment, and I'm noticing that it's not passing through certain values. So let's go back up here. Object store dot destination. Oh, all right. This is a timing issue. Okay. All right, so what is actually happening is, I'll draw out a little timeline. Got my trusty tablet here, which is going to scroll down here. Very straight line. All right, that's perfection. So we've got the reload happening. What's actually happening is there's a little bit of it waits for a little while, and it makes sure that certain data gets fed in. In this sort of case, this is the destination and location. All right, we've got other functions that waits for this to load in, and then they do their calls here. In our case, page is loaded, it's mount, next tick, boom, get this data, but it doesn't have the destination and location, so it sort of fails out. We need to implement a waiting sort of functionality. And we already have one in place. We just need to see how we've done it in the past. So this unmounted thing might get removed in a second, because I've got to wait for a couple of things. All the user permissions, all the information about this project coming through. And I need to just wait for everything. So we do it for link list. And I think, yeah, that's how we do it on mounted, but we also have it as a watch too. And Trident Master, how are you? What's the project's goal? So NearBeach is currently as a it currently does work. We do use NearBeach to build NearBeach. The goal here is to refactor NearBeach, remove all of the tech debt, make it a lot easier to sort of develop on and for, and then eventually open it up so people can build plugins for it. So yeah. But first, we've got to remove all that tech debt. Otherwise, it'll be too hard for people to create plugins for. So, yeah. We're getting there slowly. So, yeah, we've just got that. I tell you what, we can actually pretty much just copy this. This is really good. Actually, in this sort of case, we only need that. We don't need the unmounted. Because we're assuming everything will get mounted in. Now, where did I'll be... Alright. The watched, I like to put here. We'll need to bring that one in. That's fine. I'll just do this. Import watch from view is loaded. And then this is, it's not load data. It's Docs. You know I don't like it when you sit on and touch mouse. It's that one. Easy done. That should now, if I just hit reload. Oh, that didn't quite work. Because the group's endpoint has not been created yet. But good news, that should be working. Now I just got to work. Nice, you stream daily. Oh, okay, so with my streaming, I'm in Australian Eastern Standard Time. So at the moment it is 8 o'clock. I usually stream from 6:30 to 10. I've had to ease back those hours recently just to burn out. But yeah, I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So today's Friday for me. So yeah. And as you can see, Socks is front and center with the stream. This is my cat. She's been here since day one of the stream. Annoying the hell out of me sometimes. Anyway, so the good news is this loads up pretty well. We've got the data. Once the data comes through, it's like boom, we'll fetch everything and key it in. We just need to create the endpoints to get this to work. That does remove. Sweet. Once again, we've got to wire up the endpoints. But the good news is we've got all the old code which we can sort of use. We just need to refactor it into a service. We also just need to do a few other things, but that's fine. We can get this done. Okay. Let's go on GitHub. I was meant to type in NearBeach. So here's the old code. What we're going to do is, I'm trying to remember if I did this with the API. I'm pretty sure I did it with the API. So I'm going to go to Views, API. This would be groups and users, and it'll most likely be under here. User API. No, this is not it. This is with the users. User. Object data. Groups and users API. There we go. This is it. So this is what we'll be turning into a service now. So we'll have the list, destination, yeah, that will change. Destination equals sprint. Detail, you do not have permission to perform this action. Yeah, all right, cool. Serializers get groups and users list. All right, cool. All right, sweet. Now, the good news is, because we're setting the API up in a particular way, we don't need to actually have these extra checkpoints in here whatsoever. Which is good. So, and the good news is, a lot of this list, yeah, will just work. Oh, so a big yawn. Oh. Okay. I'm just going to close everything. Because we're currently all happy with that. We want to minimize this. We're now going to focus on the API side of things. So I want to go into NearBeach. I want to go into views. I want to go API. I want to open up the project API. And in here, we'll have groups. Sorry, we just got to scroll. This is getting a bit big, this file, which I don't foresee it getting too much bigger. Because what we could potentially do is we could move that into the serializer itself. That wouldn't be hard to do. In fact, sorry, not into the serializer. Into the service itself. I can't spell tonight. I really can't spell. So that would work. Definitely would shrink some things. Once again, that will be also move this into the service. As you can see, these are very, very small. What we do is we've got a service. All the business logic is in the service. We just pull the data in here and we send it back. So they're very small controller endpoints, very thin. So I'm not too worried having these in here because depending what object you're doing depends if that actually belongs in there. So for example, requirement items won't have any permissions associated to it, so you won't be assigning groups of users to it, so they won't actually have those those methods in here when we copy them over and so forth like that. Yeah. Now I forgot what I was doing. Groups. LMNOP. Sorry. ABCD, EFG. So it'll be over down here. At this particular point, we're going to go at destination permissions. It'll be min permissions level 1, because if you can edit the thing, you can add and remove groups. Easy done. We've got an action where we've got methods equals, and that's just going to be a get. Easy done. Detail equals true. URL path is going to be very similar down to here. It's just going to be groups. I'm going to say groups list. It's going to be self. It's going to be all of that. And then we're going to have to create a service. And it's just going to be that. For the moment. We'll fix this up in a second. So, let's open up the services. They go over here. So we've got services. As you can see, we've got a bunch. This will be a group service. We'll also have one for users. Yeah. So I'm just going to add that in very, very quickly. I'm just going to open up note service. Oh yeah, I've got note service already. Cool, I'm just going to put that over there. Just for reference. So we need NearBeach models. We need group at the moment. And that's going to be the first one we're going to do. From Django.db.models. Import. Actually, we'll come to that. We will need the serializers, but we'll come to that. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Type it out and it fucks up. Alright, service to help create, read, update, and delete groups against an object. Cool, easy done. So we'll have the def create. There is a way to deal with this. Off. Oh my god. Sorry, I swear to you, sometimes this is... JetBrains just goes crazy. Alright, why are you complaining? I don't care. I'm just going to grab these. Hey, I'm doing okay. Apart from JetBrains doing some weird stuff just then. How are you going, IDEM? Hopefully you're going well. Alright, so I'll probably need all of that. So... we definitely need the create, we definitely need the delete, we definitely need the list, we don't need the update. So we're definitely going to leave the update as pass. And what we do is, I think we just leave those like that, and that's fine. And we just pass everything. Ah, cheers. Yeah, it's a bit old. Let's just say that, the webcam. At least you get to see socks with it. There you go. But yeah, as you can see, it's a bit really foggy up here. Yeah, I need a new webcam. I've cleaned the glass so many times, it's not funny. There's something on it that's happening. I'll just get a new one day when I have money. So yeah. And how are you? I'm just going to call you Tomb, huh? Are you well, Idim? Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad it is Friday. Let's just say that. All right, so a lot of this will go into here. So start off the bat, essentially everything that's going to go under get group and user list, which is probably at the very, very top because of how I like to lay out stuff. So that's pretty much it. Now, if I have a look at this reference over here, if I do get list, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to delete that. I'm just going to paste in my old code. There's a reason why. And we're going to have a look at this very, very quickly. So get list, we need to then import the get group list, get user list, and so forth like that. We need to pass through the destination and location ID. All right, so I'm not too worried at the moment. That's fine. We can implement those. And then we find the potential one. That's perfectly fine. And then we get the user group. Now, I don't know. We just need to import that. That's up here. And then that will be as simple as doing something like this, where we just do something like that. And then we get the linted to lint it properly. All right, cool. And then return. Oh, now this will be a bit different. That's what we called the old. I don't think we actually have a serializer like that. Or do we? All right, it just means that we've got to create a serializer. That will take us about 30 seconds. I'm not worried about that. All right, cool. So over here, now that we've got that, we need to get these 3 bits of function. So we've got the get group list up to the top. There's a static member. So that's perfectly fine. I like things in alphabetical order. But this is a private function, so it's got an underscore at the top, so hence I'm putting it up there. Object assignment. There we go, that one's in. This one's perfect, this little static function, perfect. All right, we're happy with that one. We're gonna go, yay. I now need the group get this list other one, so I'm just going to go down here. Once again, we're just going to copy and paste this code after this. This is just another private little function like that. We just paste it in. Now we do need the F, so that will be from Django.db. I suppose you the don't worry, I don't want to go on another rant tonight. So that one's done. We'll also need to get the potential users list. I'm pretty sure. Just gonna paste that in. Need get object from destination. Ooh. All right, I will need to go through this carefully. But that's if I actually need that function. Actually, I tell you what, let's just pretend I don't need it for the moment. All right. We won't tell anyone. No one knows. It might be that I use it somewhere else. Oh no, there it is. I do actually use it straight away. All right, cool. Oh, damn it. Okay, it means I got to do a little bit of work, but that. All right, sometimes you just got to do a little work. Okay. And Steffi, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. We're doing more refactoring. Yeah, getting there. I'm hoping to have at least the group and user stuff done. So yeah, as you can see, Socks is here, as well as the foggy lens stuff. So yeah. All right, so that one's happy. It's this get potential user list. So we get the objects and stuff like that. And then if the object destination is Kanban card, object results get destination, object, groups. Got to remember what this is doing as opposed to all of this. So if it isn't a Kanban card, it gets the destination. All right. I think this is one of those sort of cases where we've got a child object and a parent object. With Kanban cards, what we've actually got to do is we've got to look at the parent object itself. So, yeah, we need to get that information. And yo, Mamik-san, how are you going? Hopefully going well. Welcome, welcome. Now, I have been thinking about a way to deal with the parent stuff. Because one quick and easy way is we just have a lookup dictionary where we key in the destination and then we get the essentially the field that we want. There are certain other areas. So, for example, sprints that have nothing to do with groups because they're in a weird sort of state themselves. I can't import user from here. It has to be from Django DB or auth. No. I forgot how to do that. All right, let's just have a look. I'm cheating. Where's the user table? Oh no, I am importing from. All right, cool. And I'm trying to think how I would say your name. Tab, how are you? You're new here. What am I building? What tech stacks am I using? All right, cool. So I'm refactoring NearBeach, which is an open source project management system. It's built in Django as the backend, using Django REST framework for the API, and it uses VueJS for the front end. So yeah, it's an open source project management system currently going through a massive refactor where we're removing a lot of the technical debt and sort of opening it up so others could eventually write plugins for it and so forth like that. So yeah, I was hoping to be mostly completed already. I'm very far behind just due to yeah. It's a lot to do with it. Let's just say that. All right, so going through here, and there's decisions that I've got to make nowadays. Are you good too? Oh, that's good to hear. So yeah, there's a decision of how will I get rid of this. and so forth like that, where, yeah. And I don't know why. Oh, I'm getting the group results from the Kanban board. Ah, all right. There's nothing stopping you from manually coding. Now, I just got to open up one thing. I do have a user database table. It's user groups, user jobs, user profile picture, user settings. Oops, what am I kicking? Username, all right. But what am I grabbing from the user table? And then it's most like the Django one. You built Zinc chatting app and AI integrated task manager. Ah, nice. What does the, when you say task manager, are we talking the Windows task manager? Or as in like a task manager, as in like you got tasks to do and you're managing them? This is where I'm just gonna go dot. Oh, I've forgotten how. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna search the whole entire code. I know I've done it elsewhere. I know I've imported the user table somewhere. I've got to. Reset password. Where are you located? Oh, contrib auth. Ah. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Now that that's done. All right. So if everything's normal, we connect up all the destinations and stuff like that. If it's a Kanban board, we actually have to look at the we have to get the parent for it. All right. And then we get the group results. All right. Yep. I'm just thinking, is there an easier way to do this? Because the cards actually don't know any of the groups. You need that parent. Oops, I've just knocked the my plug out of the headset. There we go. All right. It's basic and beginner. Go to tasks, manager, add, remove, update, delete, and all. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's nice building things. I will admit that. And then I've got to do all of that. Now, I don't want... I can come back and refactor this if I can think of a better way of doing this. But at the moment, I don't think I can think of a better way of doing this. Object result, destination and location ID. All right, cool. But the destination will be a Kanban card, which doesn't exist in there. Oh, fair enough. I reckon there will be a massive increase in cybersecurity soon. It's just me guessing that. Just through the amount of flaws that I now publicly know. Like, it feels like every single day there's a new security issue and stuff like that coming out, and yeah. Sorry, I am giving this a big thought. So initially, this object results get object from destination. What that does is that passes through a particular thing where we've got the object results and we do something like this. This is old code in NearBeach. It's now written object results will equal object results dot filter, and we do this funky thing in here. And that's pretty much it. Now, the reason why I'm not applying it up here is because if it is a Kanban card, we do things a little bit differently. This is get potential user list. It looks like the Kanban cards, we actually have to get to the Kanban board, which we're passing through here. Object results. Object assignment doesn't have Kanban card, which means I've done something wrong here. Actually, no, it does, because you can assign users to cards. Yeah, all right, don't worry, I'm going crazy. Okay. So, in reality, if we're doing this here and here, I don't know why we're doing it. And why we're not actually applying it up here. Because it'll be 10 times easier just to do it up here. Because we just go, boom, done, and we're happy. It's the group results which are different. Because group results, we're focusing on the parent. And what I can actually do is I can go parent object equals, and this is where I need to do a ternary in Python. I'm not familiar with them. I can do them in PHP, I can do them in C#, I can do them in JavaScript. It's just, I have not learned how to do them properly in Python yet. So excuse me, I'm just going to do that. All right. So value if true, Kanban board, if destination equals Kanban card, else we're just going to feed back the destination. We're fine with that. That works perfectly fine. How about in Rust? I have not used Rust yet, Scotty B. And welcome, Scotty B. How are you? I was thinking of actually using Rust a little while ago, let's just say 5 years ago. But the one thing is I ended up picking up .NET for work. I just never learnt Rust. So I learnt .NET. And I want to switch to today and then combine AI, fuel the fire. Yes. Sorry, Mamik. Just saw your message then. Yeah, I think moving forward, it's uncharted at the moment, but it'll be interesting. I honestly think, yeah, AI is definitely going to change the cybersecurity and DevOps side of things. Oh, nice watch streak. Yay, thank you very much. Just came back, dropping off. Fair enough. All right, so we've got the parent object. So we're doing this a little bit better, so we're not branching everything out. The idea being is that will then get the Kanban card result, which we then feed into here and feed it in. Oh, probably. Okay, we might. Yeah, I can see where I'm getting this now. Because I do need that Kanban board ID. Okay, that's not a problem. We sat down, we had a good read of this, and we're like, no, we need to do it this way. Which means I no longer need the parent object. That's fine. You know what's funny? I am back to learning Python. I took Dr. Chuck's Python for Everyone free course. Oh, nice. I haven't ever heard of Dr. Chuck's. So, yeah. I'm currently subscribed to a couple of mailing sort of lists and stuff like that to find out new ways of doing things and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I can extend my knowledge. I'm happy to. And Mark, you're thinking of going to Luxembourg for your next computer science degree, but I'm afraid of the IT market in Lux. Maybe I'll have go for a German. Fair enough. I do not know the job markets at all in Europe. I'm in Australia. It's a bit different down here. So, yeah. But all the best. All right, group results equals group results dot filter, and this is where we're going to do this famous thing. This thing, I do this so often, that thing knows exactly what I'm doing. Now, we do need the Kanban card. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to press this Alt-Enter. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to... do that, and then get the Kanban board information for the card. Easy done. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to go group results equals group results dot filter, and that will be once again doing this, except this will be Kanban card results, and then it'll be the Kanban board ID. And that's it. All right, cool. Can you tell me the trajectory of the Australian market? I can't. I'm terrible at those sorts of things. It is very hard getting a job at the moment. Yeah. And yes, Sox is here. Here she is. She's staring at the screen again, so I can't see half my screen because of her fluffy head. Yep. All right, so we've just done this. Once again, a lot of this will stay like this. All right, cool. So if we scroll down, get user list, that's perfectly fine. It's get group list, potential user list. Sorry, I wanted down here. We don't have destination and location ID. We're going to get those in a second. Don't worry about that. Because this is a service and we're abstracting stuff, we don't need to pass those through. It's going to sound really weird. Does that mean I can now get rid of those? Oh, all right. Socks. She can't make up a mind where she wants to sit. Because we should be able to get that information. Or, all right, this is no longer, it's no longer static, but that's perfectly fine. We'll just do that. Oh no, that's dangerous. All right. I'm going to change this slightly. We're just going to return from here object results dot filter, and we're just going to go Kanban board ID. All right, Kanban board. Oh, I can't spell. Equals location ID, self.location ID. Like that. So if it's a Kanban card, we end up doing that. And I think I'm mucking that up. I think that's incorrect. Because try the site pi for e Python for the website. Oh, all right. He teaches Python C and Django and a few other stocks. You were really close to my mouse there. They're all free and oh, nice. All right, cheers. Thank you very much, Scotty B. Yeah, it is difficult at the moment. Hopefully there will be an adjustment, Mummick. So we can only hope. Now, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I need to think about this particular thing down here. So I'm going to delete this. We're just going to go self. I'm so used to just typing it in. So when the self destination equals Kanban board, the idea is we do a sneaky cell and we do this, but the location ID doesn't change. Now, in this sort of case, we're going to have to handle things a little bit differently. If the destination is not a Kanban card, we'll send back the filtered results. So if self.destination does not equal Kanban card, all right, we then go return object results dot filter. And this is where we use this little funky thing, and we're all very happy about that, except it did it wrong this time. If you notice, it did self.there. That should be self.location ID. All right, now we need to get the Kanban cards Kanban boards ID. Terrible English, I understand. So what we need to do is we need to go Kanban card results equals Kanban card objects. Easy done. Just done like that. Then what we need to do is we just return object results. Dot filter. And then this is pretty easy. We just go Kanban board ID equals Kanban card results Kanban board ID. And that's it. So I think we fixed a bug that was probably there for ages. So yeah. All right. The next thing to do, once again, we get rid of these. We'll get rid of the static because this would be self. And then we'll just go self.destination, self.location ID. Easy. If self.destination I've just realized I don't need to overly complicate this. Because we know this is going to be a Kanban board. So we just do that. Easy done. So that should all work. We've got all that working. We've got all this working. Alright, something's going on here. I've got the get potential users. Get potential users are all groups except those in... Yeah, I don't know why it's done that. Why I've did that. Yeah. But once again, I will be going through all of this step by step. We won't be doing this tonight, actually. I've just realized, yeah. We'll get as much done as possible. But we now just need to create this. And I think that's it for the get list. We'll still need to do the create and delete, but hopefully they're a lot faster to do. Yeah. Let's get the serializer up. So I'm going to open up serializers. We've got parent group serializer. We've got user serializer. We've got group. I'm just going to copy that. I'm just going to paste in group and user serializer. We're just going to do that. This is not a group. This is just a serializer. Easy done. Cast containing serializers for groups and users. Easy done. We just get rid of this. Done. Now, if we go back into this list and we have a look, we've got the object group list, object user list, potential group list, and potential user list. We don't need the potential group list. It's not needed. So I can get rid of that. We've got the object group list. Oh, I need to think about how I'm going to connect this to the front end. I've forgotten how to code, to be honest. I mean, I have clear concepts, but when I sit down to write, my brain is blank, so I just manage high-level config. Sure, system selection code is done. Well, fair enough. Sorry, it's getting to the end of the night. My brain goes blank sometimes. You've forgotten to code. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what's stopping you from relearning? There are wonderful tutorials out there nowadays. All right. Just thinking of the front end now. So if I go to the source, scroll all the way down, source, utilities, interfaces, groups and user interface, we've got group list, potential user list, user list, and that's what I'm going to be calling this thing. So we'll have the group list. The user list and potential user list. I don't know what this is for. Use we don't need that anymore. And then what we need to do is getting rid of that, because sometimes it's just, actually, we don't need any of this. We just need to go data equals, and then we open this up. We go group list, potential users, and then user list. I think that's what we need to do. Then in the serializer, we're just going to copy that over. I'm going to move that over there. We're going to go over into the serializer. We're just going to go group list equals group serializer. Easy done. Read only true. Many equals true. Required equals files. This is fine. That's it. And then we need potential user list. That will be user serializer. Read only true. Read only true. Many equals true. Required equals false. And then the user list. Yeah. And that's it. That should be it. So I'm going to bring back this back here now. We're going to go over here. What we're going to do, we've just created the services, and very much similar to down here and so forth like that. What we want to do is we want to go group service equals group service destination location ID. That's perfectly fine. And then serializer equals the get list. And then once again, this is just copy and paste. This is boilerplate level sort of stuff. We don't need to do much here. What we're doing is we're setting up the object. We're filling out the object with what the object data requires. And then from there, we just use a method to get what the data that we actually need and just return it. It's just a couple of lines. And in fact, that technically is just 3 lines of code right there. We just spaced it out a little bit awkwardly. All right. So that one's done. We do need to do a post and a delete. So what we do is we copy this, we paste it in. There's a little bit of change here that we do. We do a mapping.post. So if you have a look here, we clear out this, we go groups list.mapping.post. That's all we do. And instead of get list, it is going to be create. And in this sort of case, we do pass through the request. So very similar to this down here, we pass through the request, and we copy this. I'm just going to paste that in very, very quickly. We can get rid of that. And it'll be serializer and success. And it's not... Ah, shoot. Did it on the wrong thing. That's the link list. I was meant to do it up here. There you go. That's a little bit better. So down here we've got the serializer, we've got the success, We then just delete end. So we do create, like so. Oh, I hate when I fat finger everything. Where am I now? Yep, like that. I've just got to find out. Cool. That should just send through the request. I don't know why it's like that at the moment. It's because I've got to do it up here. Like that. There we go. So we pass through that. And then I just need to copy this because it's essentially the same data that we're getting out. So group list with matching. That's not meant to be, it's meant to be post. Thank you very much. And then we just paste this in. And that's it for that. The delete functionality. It's going to be like that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that and we're going to change everything into groups. So delete, this will be groups. This will be groups. Delete request, that will be a group PK. Like so. And that's it. Yeah, very, very, very boilerplate. Yeah. And the good thing is when we actually do the tasks and stuff like that, we'll be able to copy this. When we do requirement items, we'll be able to copy this, but remove any of these group calls and stuff like that. And for the API, it will just work. This is going to be great. I don't need to worry about having to do if statements within the API in the services to make sure the destination is not any of these other particular objects, which would be nice to do. Which is why I've done it this way. It does mean there's a lot more boilerplate, but a lot of this also we can move into services too. So we can have a project service. We can start this up. We can pull out the information we require, which is just this, and just boom. This whole controller just ends up being smaller. All right. So I've just connected up the CRUD for that. Let's actually get the create and delete working. So in here, we'll scroll down to, just give me 2 seconds, a def create. All right, it will find and deal with it. This is huge. I didn't realize how huge this particular thing is. I'm just gonna copy this. All right, we're just gonna go like this. We're gonna scroll all the way up. All right, group list. So we should get the serializer and then pass it through. All right, cool. So with this create, we get the groups and user serializer. No, this is going to be the group serializer. Oh my god. Sorry, 2 seconds. Can't find that serializer. If serializer not valid, return. Oh, this is where we return. The fact that it failed. All right, give me a couple of seconds. I'm just seeing how we've actually done it in the past. So serializer. All right, yeah, that's how we've done it. Yeah, all right, cool. So with the group one, if serializer isn't valid, what we do is we return serializer and false. Okay, it's just as simple as that. Now, we don't need to flat pack anything. That's perfectly fine. Oops. Oh, yeah, this was going to do both groups and users. However, I'm going to veto the version 0 one. Instead, the groups and users will be separated out into their own area. That's perfectly fine. It does make this whole entire thing a little bit smaller. Now, the serialized data, we should be looking at validated data instead, not just this. All right, not a problem. But all of this for single user, that will just get deleted because we're going to put that somewhere else. And then that's return data and so forth. That anyway, I'm going to call it there, just because it's 9 o'clock, and yeah, I'm getting tired. I can't think. All right, we are all right. We'll rate this person. Awesome. Anyway, thank you very much everyone for being here tonight. It has been wonderful. We got a lot done. I do need to go through this and look at obtaining object assignment ID. Yeah, look at that. I've got things to do. Yeah, I think this one, I need to fix this up very, very quickly, but I am getting very, very tired. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much, and I do hope you enjoy the next stream. For those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Sadly, you won't be able to follow us with the stream, with the raid, sorry. Don't forget to like and subscribe.